Ahoy, Evie. I'm so
Ahoy,
happy to
Piotra.
see you. This new me, I mean, this is the new old me. As you can see, I've been somewhere, I've been places as you are right now, which I'm really happy for you. This is our final chapter of this, let's say, adventure that we've taken like for 10 weeks so far. We've reached the end, unfortunately. I'm really sad to say that. This is the end. This is our final meeting. But
let's say it's only our beginning, because I was talking to Andre and the team, and they really like it. So maybe this is something we can do on a regular basis. And there's a really good feedback on it as well, because it puts, the subject up front, and it's really live. It's really lively to discuss it. So let's say it's our beginning, not the end.
Of course. So this is the end of the beginning, and the second part of the beginning will soon follow. We have 2 more collections to review today, and as we promised, at the end of this entry, we're gonna introduce our top 5 brands, designers that we like most out of all the spectrum of designers that we had a chance to view and review in the past 10 weeks. So let's start with Michaely Čapkové. Right?
Do you want me to start with Michaely Čapkové?
Let's go. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it like that. Go on.
Same problem I had with Michaely Čapkové as we had with the last batch, which is not enough info for my taste. So I actually went to the Instagram page, and I actually went around a bit more. I really want to say in the beginning of this review for Michaely Čapkové, really strong visual identity. I'm not sure if you saw her Instagram page. Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Did you? I really liked it. I really did. It's something that's been going on for some time, and she's not the only one. She's doing it that way, but very clean, visually not disturbing, and a big focus on nature and animals, which I personally love. I love people that incorporate these topics and pay respect to our nature and to everything that surrounds us with what they do, which is fashion in this case. What I wanted to say with this is, I feel lately that world fashion is tired and is being fragmented, which means that the big brands are struggling in a sense that, you don't get as much feedback and positive reflection from their clients. And my bet is that the future of fashion is going to be individual communities and clients that are going to be focused on brands like this, because that's what they identify with. It's going to be really small communities that the designer can create around himself, catering to that small community and working for them and producing for them. This is something which I really strongly feel with Michaely Čapkové. She's obviously speaking to a client which is aware, which is, really into the subject of sustainability, of environment, of what's going on around in the world. And this is someone who is probably going to be, it's her potential clientele. And her really strong visual identity, she has this trait. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows what she wants to do. She knows who she's doing it for, which is very important. On the other side, I must say she's working with almost raw materials. Not sure if you noticed, but I'm sure you did, because you have a very sharp eye. It's really almost the raw materials, including linen, which is super tricky. It's a super tricky. Linen is one of the most trickiest materials out there, I personally know. I'm not speaking of a mixed linen, which is added to cotton and, all these mixtures, but pure linen, because we know it tends to crinkle a lot. It tends to not to behave the way we want it to behave. Exactly. It really is not so flowing. It has its own brain in apostrophe. So it's very tricky to work with linen, which she's doing this, but sometimes it can look a bit off because of the nature of the material. So it can be cut precisely, garment can be done really nicely, but the result will look a bit unpolished because it's linen, it's natural, and it behaves in its own way. So it's something that Michaely maybe should consider and maybe work a bit more around. But otherwise, for me, very strong message. I love the I love also, I think that the message of her collection was restore, was the name of the collection. This shows us what's the mood du jour these days. Restore, going back to the roots, going back to the nature. It's so present, so strongly present in some of these collections. That's something I want to stress. For me, I mean, it doesn't bother me, doesn't disturb me. I like the outtake on this, and I think she really has a potential to grasp a client that is aware, that is enlightened, and that really wants to exhibit this attitude with the way they dress.
Well, to me, linen in fashion is what concrete stands for in architecture. It has a very strong personality. So as you said, it is very stiff. It could take control over the design and creative process. And this is what happened here. But the good thing about linen is it's gonna change its personality. It's gonna get a bit softer. It's getting better with the age, right? So every time you wear it, every time you wash it, it's gonna change this personality. It will adjust to your body. So I think like what we are seeing here is the beginning of process of aging the linen. And this is very interesting. I also like the color of the linen because, as you said, it's raw, it's really rough. There are two shades of gray, which is very demanding. It's equally demanding as white and black. The third equally demanding color is exactly gray. You do it wrong, it's gonna look cheap. This is not the case. It doesn't look cheap. It just looks like a linen should look. What I also like is this just small elements like this, the bells, the stripes that part of the dress is hanging on. It looks very natural as a choice how to proceed with construction, how to get control over linen. This is very interesting choice. What I don't like is the only one thing I don't like about this collection is this part of the lower back where she's trying to, ruffle to just keep the linen all together. This is not the perfect choice of the place for this type of action. So I feel like when she's moving it a bit up or a bit low or away, it would be perfect then. But anyway, this is a very clean message, very interesting collection. And I like what I see, and I think it's a very, very nice choice, especially for this type of weather that we are having now. Raw linen is a perfect for what we have here in Warsaw, which is over 40 degrees. Perfect choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I'm recording this, I'm recording this from a vacation. And literally, I wanted to record it outside, but as I told you, it's so windy because we're literally by the sea. Like from our house, the sea is just next to me. And this is why I absolutely know what you're talking about, because when I was reviewing these collections, I'm here every day, obviously. It's a sea life, it's a sea living, it's really warm outside, it's windy, and it's warm at the same time. It's all you need in a really such a climate, it's something you can dress up, you can dress down, it's breezy, it's airy. When you sweat in it, it doesn't really give you any unpleasant odors because it's all natural. So yes, absolutely, I know what you mean. And as we know, climate is getting warmer and warmer where we live, not just here where I am. I'm obviously not home, but even where we are back home in Bratislava, you in Warsaw, our viewers in Prague, they know summers be really warm and long these days. So I predict with the change of climate, this is a future as well. Breezy and pieces that can be layered. So when it's cold, you can throw a sweater on the top, or you can put something under. So something which has a layering potential. It's something we may use in the future a lot. That's absolutely a point that you made correctly. Yes.
Because, the linen always keep the distance. There is a lot of talking about the distance right now, keeping the distance, right? Linen usually stays away from your skin. It doesn't touch it directly, which is perfect for this type of weather that we are having right now. Also because it wrinkles naturally, so this is what we expect from linen. We don't want it to stay smooth, tailored. We don't expect it to be like ironed, right? It is the part of the personality, so it looks fantastic. This is a great choice, very ambitious choice of material for summer, and a winning product. So I think it's a very nice collection, as we said.
Yes, I must agree with all points. That's I really loved. I mean, the Instagram is what I really enjoyed. The pictures with horses, and it's really clean. It's very strong visual identity, really strong, very unfussy, very straight to the point, very nurturing, tender, really talking about nature and being part of the nature and making clothes that don't contradict the nature, but they kind of blend it with the nature. They blend in, and we're part of our surroundings.
So now we have Talabaya, which takes us places again, a bit different part of a globe, but also kind of interesting to me. Do you want me to say or start right now with Talabaya?
Sure.
Okay. My biggest surprise is I usually do our reviews like that. I first watch the video and the photos, and then I read the statement, the message from the designer, because I want to see if I identify the message on my own, or I do need a help from the designer to get it to exactly where the designer is taking us. When I saw first few looks of this collection, I thought, okay, this is gonna be a Mexico. It looks like from South America or Latin America, Central America, or south part of the North America, or anywhere far away from cold climate north. Definitely America to me. It turned out this is not America at all. It's totally different, very much inspired by the client who's moving from Europe to Arabic states. And what I really like about it, this is really a proof that designer is following its client. This is the best proof that designer understands what a client needs. This collection was made for the particular client. Of course, it turned out to be universal enough to appeal to clients staying anywhere in the world. Talabaya is proud of its distribution worldwide. It sells in, I think it sells in United States, United Emirates, in Emirates, in Doha, I think. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, this collection is already has a very international distribution. It's trying to merge East with a bit of Central Europe, and in many ways it wins. I like most of the silhouettes. I like this black, let's say, black dress, because I'm not gonna call it lace. It's a different kind of lace, right? It's a bit
like laser cut. Yes, it's like laser cut. Not even guipure lace. Like there's texture and pattern to it. I know what you mean. It's not really lace, but it's structured, and it's probably cut in laser cut, probably, maybe.
To me, it looks a bit like macrame, like
or macrame, yes.
Isn't it? So it's a very interesting combination. There's a very nice coat which plays with this fabric that looks like op art. So when it's moving, you also get a feeling like the fabric does move on its own, even if the model is standing. So this is very interesting.
Do you mean the one that looks like a bathrobe, right? Like a pajama robe.
Exactly.
That was my favorite. I'm so glad you're saying this, because this was my favorite piece. I actually really love that piece. I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna message the designer and get it, because that's, and yeah, it was kind of holographic, like psychedelic print almost, that creates movements and dimension when it moves. I know it's like this black white, but it creates this kind of grayish mass. I know exactly which one you mean. It's amazing.
The only thing I don't love is that the brand Talabaya, which is written as in Latin alphabet, I feel like the message could be maintained and it could look even more stunning. If you really want to use the brand, why not writing it in Arabic? Because it's also beautiful. It's a pretty alphabet. It's gonna be standing out. It will be more intrigue. You get hooked instantly. She's using that. I mean, the designer is using it for a press release, but she's not using it on clothes. I think this is the one of the things missing in this collection, first of all. And I'm not really sure, but of course she's excused because we still have this strange times that we are living. The presentation took place at the rooftop somewhere, and it takes the collection instantly down. The surrounding doesn't match what we have in terms of design. The collection deserves something outstanding, spectacular, much more sophisticated than just a rooftop somewhere. It looks like, to me, at the first thought, okay, she's probably at the roof of the Yalta Hotel in downtown Prague. It shouldn't be that place. There are so many better locations around Prague. Why here? So this is the only thing I don't like about this collection. I think it could look, the surrounding the way of presentation should lift up the collection, not take it down. In this case, the way the collection is being presented, it takes it down. So I feel like there's more potential, there's probably much better quality, there's much more spectacular looks than we already have and we experienced while watching this material. So this is the only, my only regret for this collection for Talabaya.
Well, I absolutely am there with you with the setting, but then we don't know when the video was done. Maybe, the problem was because these designers were ready to show their collections at the Fashion Week, which never took place in the planned time. And so they needed to produce the videos for these presentations. And since there was already a situation with traveling, I'm suspicious that she probably couldn't execute it anywhere more exotic. She probably had to stick to somewhere local to produce it. But this is just, and it's not important, right? But what I really love, besides that quote that you loved as well, is the fact that we here see the merge cultural contexts. Oriental Arabic, which is and always has been very strong inspiration in many of the biggest European designers, whether you take it Yves Saint Laurent, who lived in Morocco as well for a long time, and he was absolutely smitten by it and inspired by the colors and silhouettes and the way these people dressed. And also Karl Lagerfeld, a lot of his collections, Métiers d'Art or cruise collections, were dedicated to Dubai, to Far East. He used a lot of these references. Why? Because it's mythical and it's really like a fairy tale. There's so many things you can work with there: textures, colors, the secret of the whole culture itself. Because as we know, in this culture, women need to be hidden to a certain extent. Their bodies need to be covered. So it's really important for this type of fashion to work with little nuances that show just that little piece can be shown. And so you can do so much around it if you have a lot of your own creativity and fantasy. And so no wonder that it fascinates designers over and over again. But as you said, it's not only the fascination in this, but she had a client that really needed attires that would, and this really interested me in the press release. Her client requested the designer Mirka Talashkova that she wants to blend the culture he's moving to, the Arabic culture, and respect the culture, but at the same time she wanted to keep a bit of her own heritage, so she didn't want to give it up completely. So this is how it fascinates me, how you can really play around merging two such different cultures as our Western European and Arabic. And what I really loved, and she did really well, was, did you notice these shirts, these tailored shirts, as you say, modern? I love that you always say modern is not minimalistic, according to Piotra, but it's modern. So she used these shirts, very somber cut shirts with buttons down up to the neck, and then she used these overflowing of kaftanesque silhouettes on the top, these robes that look like pajamas. Surprisingly so different, and it really worked. I really loved it. I actually went to the Instagram page and I loved one look. I'm not sure if you went there. Maybe you will know which look I'm talking about. It was a few rows down from the actual one, but there was like this pink vest dress, and then she used the headscarf, and it was Western, and at the same time it was Arabic, and it was cool, and it was really chic, really chic. I really loved it. So for me, very interesting take on mixing these different fashion aesthetics, cultural references, and I see a lot of potential. I mean, she can, I was not sure about certain cuts of these, it's also tricky, not just linen, but when you cut a rope, when you have a long garment, it's cut, it has these long slits, if you know what I'm talking about, like when you see your whole leg from, let's say, half of your thigh, because sometimes the fabric again moves all around. It doesn't really keep the silhouette. So that was probably something which bothered me a bit, but I see potential there. And I think if she works around what she started on, she can have not just clients over there, but she can have clients over here, which like the exotic aesthetic, and they like a little bit of zest in their clothing, looking really a bit oriental and out of place, let's say,
When I really feel like the fashion should be like building bridges, right? And she succeeded because she built a bridge connecting the Central Europe with the Arabic states perfectly, smoothly, not offending any of the sides, taking what's the best and merging it all together and creating something that is actually Talabaya. So I'm just curious, where is she gonna take us next time? I'm not saying next season, but it's a very interesting, we are looking for a substitute of travel right now. Many people are gonna stay home for a summer, etc., etc. We're looking for a different type of travel. I think like fashion could take over also from the travel agency. Fashion once again could take us places and we can enjoy it as we're traveling. Exactly. Literature can do it, music can do it, fashion can definitely do it. Talabaya is actually doing this and we are enjoying it. So congratulations to Talabaya.
And congratulations to you, because you just nailed it. You just nailed it. Fashion can transport you places, like music, exactly like music, like sounds, like smells, scents, certain. Yes, absolutely. And really, we're pressured to go back, but it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's not bad.
What's the best in life is usually literature, perfumes, cuisine, kitchen, yes, food, drinks, and travels, and it's all together and could be combined in one thing, which is the garment that we get from the proper good designers. So it's absolutely the modern way of traveling is via fashion, I suppose it might be. I hope that we're gonna experience the old-time traveling as well. Sure, that I wouldn't like to sacrifice, but for the time being, traveling via fashion is also very, very interesting. Okay, so I'm really curious right now because we've just done it. This was the final collection for review. I'm just curious about your top 5 and my top 5. Shall we go like from 5 to 1 by one? Let's see.
I actually didn't put them in any order. And okay. I was really thinking about this strong because I was like, okay, if I was to go from 5 to top 1, and I really do it, I would say maybe there's one that's outstanding, all of them, but it was not so dramatic, you know what I mean? Like, for me, it's a top 5. Maybe next batch, somebody will be like, no, this is number 1. This is absolutely number 1, but I didn't feel like it. And I really want to be fair. Okay. I really want to be fair because I don't feel so strongly about anybody. And I also wanted to say that there were more designers because I was actually counting, we reviewed almost 40 of them. Mm-hmm. Did you count them? It was a lot. So I went back to each and all of them. I really did. I went back to Lida, to Naut, to Chatty, to this lean student. I reviewed. I went back and looked at it, and there were so many more I'd love to mention because they deserve it, and they are really. They're on the way. They have potential, and they will probably mean something in fashion in a few years. Some of them for sure. We can bet. But top 5, I didn't want to put any specific order because there's nobody I really want to pinpoint, maybe one, but I said already because, probably know who it is, but I didn't even feel like this is necessary. I mean, I just have a top 5 and I'm so curious how many, if there will be same that we have on the list, if there'll be, how many we will tick that we have the same ones, the same names. I'm really curious about this. If any.
I gotta say it wasn't easy. I mean, the moment we decided that we're gonna do that at the end, I was really happy. I thought, oh, this is a great idea. And then right after I thought, oh no, this is a very bad idea. Why do we have to go down to 5? There are so many, we don't wanna hurt anyone, right? We don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings. And it's so easy to hurt somebody just because we're not gonna mention the brand on the name, even if we like it. So I really have to say, I did pick up 5 brands that I love most based on these collections that we actually reviewed only. Okay, so this is what we are reviewing this time. But in general, what's happening now in both Czech and Slovak fashion is so fascinating. It's so exciting that I'm so, as you said, we need to extend what we are doing we need to start doing the next chapter already, because I want to be a part of it. I want to be involved in it. I think it's just about the time. It's a perfect timing for Czech and Slovak designers. I'm not going to say to make it global because this is not the ambition. This is not the point right now. I think it's just, they deserve the recognition, right? They deserve clients to come to Prague, Bratislava, Košice, Ostrava, I don't know, Brno, wherever they are. They deserve the clients to come over and visit and discover country at the same time. We should be drawn by design here. So this is perfect timing.
And also there's a big notion of the social media here as well. And when I said before that they're a good servant but the bad master, which I absolutely stand behind, but the good servant is this part. So in this world you can absolutely browse, you act, sometimes you're bored, so you go to explore. Because I don't have much time, but I know people do it, and it jumps at you and catches your eye, and you may be in London and you see this talented person that's making clothes that speak to you and just resonate in you, and you open their Instagram page, you direct message them, and you have a client from London, Prague. This is the advantages, because shipping is so fast these days, communication is so easy, many people speak English, so it's very good they are ready to deliver. And as you say, the ambition is not to make it global or worldly, but I dare to say that we already have designers that are on the world level, and that they need also clientele, and they deserve clientele, not just the local one, but the global one. Not because they want to be worldly or they should be worldly, but because this is what supports their business. This is what makes them and keeps them going. This is what makes them develop their skills and their business skills as well. When you don't have business, you don't have any finances to make your next collection. How can you go further? So this is very important element, and I absolutely am there with you. It's time, and I am so happy, Peter, I must say, I'm so happy that you said this, that it's fascinating for you. No, maybe not a lot of readers know, but you are really, you're world fashion. You had known it for some time. So, people who are watching, this is a big compliment for you, for all the designers. Piotr is saying this because honestly, thank you for saying this. Thank you that you find it fascinating. Thank you for being part of this. And I really can't wait for you to come and see. Please.
I don't like blush in front of the camera. It doesn't look well. So, but I think. No,
I really needed to say. I felt like I wanted to say this because that's how I feel, and I always say what I feel. Sorry.
I know you're famous for that. We know you for that. Eva, this is really exciting. This project is very exciting because we are doing it together, to be honest, right? Because it's really the fundamental part of the project like this is to have a partner. This is not it's not a monologue coming from you. It's not from me. It's not a monologue. We have very engaging, interesting discussion because we do love fashion, and this is clear. We are there for designers. We want them to succeed. We do. Yes. We are not designers ourselves, but we know how to support designers. We know what they need, and we know how to give them a hand. And hopefully, this is what we did so far, and this what we gonna do next will just make Czech and Slovak fashion get the respect, the response, that the recognition it deserved. It is the right moment. Now, there's nothing to be ashamed. We are all ready. And I don't see the point, why do we have to be excited all the time about, I don't know, Balenciaga or Chanel or Dior, all these big game players, when we have equally good designers locally, and it's time to say it loudly. And we are doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's needed to also say that times are changing. History is an ever-evolving organic process. So, yes, there used to be a Balenciaga, old one, that was done by the really, really professional bars, not the new wave. I don't want to bash anyone, but we all know what I'm talking about. We had, Givenchy that was done by this, and there we had so many, Lambanda by Elba, all these big brands that really had their momentum. They were really delivering amazing fashion, well done, and then it all went wrong, because that's also part of the history. That's what I said. It's part of who we are. It's part of what fashion was, but we need to look to the future, and not only to the future, we actually need to look to this day, the present. What's happening these days. And it's a change of direction. It's a big change of direction, because really nobody wants overpriced, mediocre clothes anymore. It's done. It's over. It's not only about, damaging our planet, which is a huge problem. And I've said this before. It's also about respecting your client. You cannot ask for something which is not worth the money. You can't ask for that money. It's just, it's not moral, it's not cool, it's over, And so where the authenticity and originality is lacking, it's where in our geographical regions, we're actually getting there, we're going there. And I also wanted to say one more thing before we go to the top 5. The biggest problem I see in our local design, or biggest catch that can be there, is the authenticity. Lately, I see there's a lot of copying, in not just fashion, in photography, in arts in general. It's people are getting lazy. They just steal other people's context, other people's work. They really don't really work on their own fascinations. And what I want to tell all of the designers, not every collection has to be showstopper, has to be genius. It's not needed. Don't give in to the pressure that it needs to be good. And so I'm so tired. I don't have any more thoughts because I'm this. So I'm just going to go somewhere. Look, it works. And I'm going to copy it because I need it to be good. Do a rather shabby collection, shabbier one, but your own, than copy somebody else's concept. This works for fashion, photography, for art, for all the creative fields, for all the fields, really. So don't put yourself under the pressure to always deliver. Do your own thing in your own pace. If you don't feel like making a collection for spring because you don't have anything to, don't do it. Wait for the inspiration to come. Do your bestseller in the meantime, your capsule pieces, because you degrade yourself and you really, just put yourself down. So stay true to yourself, be a hard worker, be honest, be authentic, be yourself, and that's the key to success. I just wanted to say this because I feel it's too much lately, and I think it's the wrong direction, because that's exactly what happened with the world fashion. It was one of the problems: greed and the pressure to deliver more, better, bigger, faster, and this is where we are. So it's not the way to do it.
You're absolutely right. We should take it from Azadinalaya. We should take it from Gray Kawakubo. We didn't follow the calendar. They did exactly they had their own rhythm of work. So when Gray Kawakubo wasn't ready to present something worth presenting, she just skipped it. Azadinalaya didn't want to follow the industry calendar. He never did. He was presenting whenever he was ready, and he still remains one of the most respected designers of the 20th century. Same applies to Rei Kawakubo, who is fortunately still with us. So let's just take example from how those two really great designers. There's nothing to wrong to say about it. Okay, so let's go. Shall we start? Shall we go with our top 5? I know we're trying to, the later we start, we need to start anyway. Do you want me to start? Shall I just name one of the brands?
Go ahead.
Like? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with Odivi. And I'll make it very, very fast with Odivi. I like the concept, which is very clear for us, sending a very clear message that upscaling is not just a future of fashion, it's a presence of fashion. You can take materials, you can take textiles that were, despised, that were neglected, and create something tailor-made quality out of it that looks modern, that looks very much sophisticated, and it's worth an effort, and it deserves the better display, and you can create your own identity based on a very simple concept. Just good tailoring, just good color code, and a bit of personality or personal history in these terms. I mean, there's a bit in the last collection. There's a bit of the very personal history incorporated, and it's lovely. I mean, usually if designers are doing their job right, we have our conversation just flow, right? Because we have so much to say. So this is what I call the storytelling, like they're inspiring us, and then the conversation goes smoothly, and we can take it forever. So this is one of the examples. We can talk about Odivi, in my opinion, for a long, long time. And I also want to mention the progress we made in a very small period of time, starting from something that was like streetwear collection, not bad, but not very exciting, into something really tailor-made quality, which is very, very exciting, very modern, very up-to-date, looking lovely. What's your choice? The first brand that's come up in your mind.
You should say them all because I don't have them in order. I'll say them all together. So go ahead, say your batch, and I'll say mine.
Okay, so then I have Fryer.
That's okay.
Okay, then I have Fryer. There's a very obvious, it was a very easy choice with Fryer. I love the concept and the surprise of clothes that I feel like they are melting in front of me. I said that. I love the genius idea of taking pockets inside out and turning it into an accessory. It looks beautiful. I would like Fryer to be, if I had a 5-star boutique hotel or design hotel anywhere in Czech Republic or Slovakia, I would definitely employ Fryer to design the uniforms for the staff, because I feel this brand could definitely create something outstanding. It doesn't have to be in Czech Republic, it doesn't have to be in Slovakia, it could be anywhere, because the Fryer is ready to do something like that. The brand, the company is great in uniforms. And I also love how the film is being translated into fashion in a very interesting way. I mean, this is epic. This is really epic. The last collection is really epic. Yeah, I enjoy watching it. Also enjoy the way the collection is being presented on the website. It's very like the modern computer game that you don't want to you don't want it to end. You just want to see ever again, participating in again and again and again. So this is Fryer, this is my second choice. Then comes Bojidara, because I believe that the future, or maybe even again the presence of fashion, of the luxury, is to know by name the person who does your knitwear. This is, we talk about keeping the distance, but in this case, the distance gets shrink. You really get, this is very personal. When you know the person who does your knitwear, the person who does your, let's say, the fall cardigan, and you can get directly in touch with this person, and you see that this person has a very strong vision on what she is doing. And she's taking both from the past, from her personal experience, from her family experience, from her heritage, and also from the future that she predicts. So just by merging this, she does create something that is strong, that is visually very, very attractive. In many cases, is beautiful. That is presented on the website in a very exciting way, and I don't see the point why Božidara shouldn't be considered as a competitor to the brands like, I don't know, Loro Piana even. They do almost the same. The only thing I want to see more, as I said before, is more design for men. I think Božidara is ready, and I know she's working on something for men, so I'm just crossing my finger. I don't want to push her, but fall is coming. Božidara.
Can you just say it? You need a sweater. Please, Božidara, if you're listening to this, Piotr really wants a sweater from you. So please just hurry up. Because
no, Božidara is already aware of that. I just want to wear one of her designs. I'm ready for the new collection to arrive. So I'm checking up her website and her store from time to time to see if the new arrivals are already in. Not yet, okay. It's not time of the year yet, but let's say in 4 weeks is going to be perfect for a first arrival, for a first drop.
I'll try to push it for you a bit because I'm here. I can do it, not now, but when I get back home.
No, we're not gonna do it. We're just joking, of course. Take your time, Božidara. I know you're gonna. Whenever you're ready, and then I'm ready to purchase. Then after Božidara, I have Zoltan Tov that we reviewed last week. This is a very obvious entry. As I said, he's clearly one of the best designers in this part of Europe. In general, he's one of the best European designers already. And I'm talking about his last 3 collections, including the last one that we reviewed, but the previous 2 were really excellent. Zoltan is a fascinating storyteller. He knows how to take it from the past and just transform it into something attractive to all the generations. Because this collection speaks to me, this collection speaks to my parents, this collection speaks to probably his colleagues who are in their 20s and 30s. So it's very, very interesting. Also Zoltan, as well as Božidara, as well as Friars, as well, Vivi. What I like, we do take it from here where we are, mostly, right? Friar, of course, is taking partly from a movie which is international, but anyway, we do understand that the culture they're coming from is rich enough to deliver a constant inspiration. You don't have to travel far. You can take it from where you are just by doing the right research. Research is a key word in the process. And Zoltan Tov is a great researcher. Zoltan Tov is great in terms of quality of tailoring. He's a very talented designer and very skilled tailor, or at least the designer who knows how to talk to the team of tailors. This is very important, just to have the right communications. What we are experiencing now, what we are seeing worldwide, a bunch of designers who are coming out of the blue, taking over the major brands, and there's a lack of communication because we don't speak.
Let's just say here many times and often, lately, more often than not, it's not even designers. This is the biggest problem. People who make clothes these days, who design clothes, don't have the education, they don't have the skills to do it. It's a stylist / people from fashion, people that wear the fashion, influencers. It's not people who know how to design the clothes properly. This is the problem and needs to go back to the roots because, as we said before, nothing against stylists. On the contrary, we have many very good friends, brilliant stylists, and without stylists, fashion would like so much. I mean, I cannot even imagine they would not be, right? Stylists are equally important as designers because they put the clothes into completely different contexts. But it's not the most clever way to let a stylist, and it not even stylists, sometimes stylists know more about fashion than influencers, but lately I feel like everyone who loves fashion and is infatuated by fashion really dares to be a designer, and that's just the no. I mean, not much more to say about this.
Okay, so that was Zoltan. This was the fourth entry, and the final. I think that comes as a no surprise, considering what I have already said like 4 weeks ago. Tereza Rosalie Kladešová. As I already said, she is a very interesting artist, which I value most when it comes to fashion. She created something more than just collection. She created her own universe. She's equal in terms of the visual striking quality of what she has created to just name it to Gaudi or to Saitomli, or just we can see so many names in the art world that have created something as striking as her collections, and I love it. And I love that she's also that much into the process of creating clothes, right? So everything is under control of the single person. You see the brain, you see the heart, you see the soul behind it. I don't remember which one of the designers, Helmut Lang again, sorry. You see, this is Helmut Lang again. When Helmut Lang was asked in the past if he can imagine his brand being taken over and led by the bunch of designers without a leader, he said that it's very impossible to copy the soul. This is so much crucial, right? Isn't it? This is exactly.
That's what I said also with the people being inspired, and it's always gonna be the copy. It's gonna lack the je ne sais quoi. It's gonna lack it because that's like a body of a human being. Say the soul makes, when you die, it's just a piece. You're just the piece of material, right? The essence of you is gone. People don't even look like themselves anymore, and I know this is a very harsh comparison. I know I can understand, but I cannot really find a better one. And any artwork or fashion piece makes unique and makes alive is the energy, the feelings, the emotions, the intimate inner fascinations that the author transforms into the materia with the invisible, with the energy, with the emotions themselves. And so when you copy someone else's concept, it's dead. It can be visually pleasing to a point, but you'll still feel it's staged. It's not natural. It's not authentic. It's lacking the most important part, and that's the essence. It's something which you can put into words. So again, thank you for mentioning this, because honestly, it needs to be stressed over and over again. Do rather shabby piece, but it's yours, than a copy of any. It can be genius, it can be brilliant, but don't do copies. Never. In clothes, in art, in photography, in you name it. Don't. Refrain from it. Rather don't do anything than do this.
So all these 5 designers with Tereza Rosalie Kladešová at the top, they are originals. They did and they do create their own, aesthetics. They just established something that is so original, so unique, and that they stand for it. So I can't imagine anyone taking over from Tereza, because it's impossible. She created something that is her own. It's unique, it's lovely, it's beautiful. I'm so happy that I was introduced to this collection. I'm also happy to say that I realized that Tereza has relaunched her website. She's on the it looks amazing right now. It's like, there's new energy. Finally, it is, of course, it's a second-rate thing, but it's so important that it's exactly at the same level as the design. So finally, she has the store at the same level in terms of quality. She has a very good visual presentation on Instagram. Everything is exactly the same level, is the top quality, exactly what Teresa Rosalie Kladešová stands for. So these are my top 5, and I'm really happy to say it once again: Otivi, Frajer, Božidara, Zoltán Tov, and Teresa Rosalie Kladešová. These are my top 5 designers.
You know, I was really curious to hear this because, as I said many times, not the first one, we never speak about what we're going to be talking about before with Piotr. It would not be fair to our readers and viewers, and I think it's the way to go. So it's not staged. It's really, I always hear your thoughts when you say them. I don't have any idea. And so I was wondering, you know, and I was laying in my bed last night and I was like, I'm really curious, the Piotr speaks, and if we're going to have the same, some of them at least, you know, and of course we do. And it's something that really pleased me much because even with the local design, with the local concept stores, you don't really have any. I mean, you know a lot more about Czechoslovakian fashion than when you started doing this with me, obviously. I even myself know much more about Czechoslovakian fashion than when we started this, you know, because some brands I just discovered I didn't know about a lot. So I learned a lot as well. But you don't also know the connotations. You don't know who sells who here, how many of these concepts are there, what's their portfolio. For me, it was like a test of, you know, you as a person looking from outside, without any prejudice, without any bias feelings, without any personal connections that you need to overlook or you need to please someone, which I know that you wouldn't do anyhow because you're a fair and straight person, and this is why I really enjoyed doing this with you. But you're just free of all of this, so I really wanted to hear, who are these people going to be? And so 3 of these people that you mentioned I work with very closely. It's Teresa Rosalie Kladešová, it's Frajer, Terezie Čapkové, and it's Zoltán Tov. It's one of my closest designers, one of my closest collaborators, people that I sell the most. We sell the most. And we work a lot with in our platform. And so for me, this is absolutely a delight to hear that you enjoyed them and that you enjoyed the exact things why we chose them, why we work with them, because they're real and they're authentic. And so now for me, it's 5. I will tell you that we have Frajer, of course, Terezia Čapkové. I will not say a lot about because it would probably be perceived as a PR or as a promo, which I don't want to do. And as I'm sure that viewers saw in all these reviews, that we tried to stay fair, we tried to stay above, we really tried to be open to these things. So I really don't want to say more than I said. She's a conceptual designer, absolutely, with a great future and great potential, hard worker, fascinated by stuff that is really so hard to really find, you know, even when you look for it. I mean, you need to live in it to be able to find it, to even choose from these nano milli things and build everything around it. It's so really, it's genius. So I'll just say this: it's Frajer for sure. Fingers crossed for her, and we will do maximum to help her. And as you said, we will do our best to push her further and to really support her in what she's doing. Then it's obviously someone who is a very nice person as a person, but also he knows what to do. He absolutely knows. And it comes from the love of what he's doing. So we have 2 types of designers and people that work in creative industry these days. And it's people who know what to do because they find it elsewhere, or it's not from their own head, let's say. Then we have people who know what to do because they love doing it and they rather not see anything else because it distracts them too much. They love to do their own thing. He's one of them. And we have a client currently right now at the moment she's in Mykonos for a vacation and she's wearing Zoltán Todt dress, and you cannot imagine the craziness that's on the internet. It's on Instagram happening. Everybody wants this dress because you can see it's a super dress. It's a showstopper, you know. It's beautifully done. It's really, it has everything that it needs to have, and it's so different yet it's so classic, and it has everything. So it's not only, you know, this conceptual fashion which is only for intellectuals, but it's really pleasing to the eye. It's serving the purpose to make the woman look taller, prettier, more special. So when you in Mykonos go down the street and people ask you who's your dress from, it's amazing. You know you're doing it right. I mean, not much more to say about this. Then I have Petra Weingart. Not sure if you remember her.
Sure, I do.
With the streetwear, very simple streetwear she's doing. I actually brought 80% of my wardrobe here in on my holiday right now is from our local designers, not just from my showroom or our showroom, but from different ones. And I actually wore one of these t-shirts that she made as a dress to dinner, and I got 3 compliments on this again. And it's just the plain t-shirt, but it's not the t-shirts. It's not, you know, this is what we said. It's not, there's difference between a knitwear and knitwear, and there's a difference between a t-shirt and t-shirt. And you can see that this t-shirt is tailored. It's tailored t-shirt. It's long where it needs to be long. It's short where it needs to be short. I mean, it has all the elements it needs to have. With her, big potential I see because she's very friendly, and you can feel it from her clothes. She's very free and friendly, and she has this vibe of this community, this hip-hop young community in her that she's part of, and you can feel it in her clothes. It's comfortable, it's wearable, it's timeless, it's nicely done, and it's very fairly priced, which I adore, because you can ask 500 euros for such t-shirt, or you can ask 80 euros for this t-shirt, which is fair. The latter is fair. So she knows how to make the clothes, and she knows how to deliver it to the client of a wide range of people who are, you know, better situated financially and who you don't have necessary are, but they want that t-shirt, and she makes it so they can afford it. And this is something really important we must say about fashion. Overpriced fashion is over. It's up. I mean, it's done. So Petra Weingart for me for sure. And then I have a duo of Petra Kubíková and Marcel Holubec that you probably remember. Petra Kubíková, also really a fixture already on Czechoslovakian scene. She has elements that are almost her own already, and she's not been around for a long time, which absolutely amazes me, you know. She is doing, on one hand, she's doing these really simple pieces like the, you know, spaghetti strap dresses, or just like the tube dresses, you know, something which is really, I'm not saying it's not hard to make, because even that is an art to make, so it fits well in all the right places. But that's something we find a lot in other, you know, designers or other lines of clothing. But then she has this other position of her work where she makes these, you know, the big sleeves, you know, combine. You remember that collection that reminds me of almost Japanese or Asian culture mixed with the 20s Czechoslovakia, you know, post-war times. And it's very something so specific. So it's specific. It's, I mean, we've seen big balloon sleeves, dolman sleeves, overdone sleeves. We've seen all these big sleeves so many times, but this is somehow different. It's her signature. And so it just amazes me that in such a short time, she was able to create something which is her signature, which is hers, which people identify right away. This is Petra Kubíková, it's her silhouette. And I must say, here we go again. This is very important in fashion. When you have your own signature, I always compare it to when you hear voice of Mick Jagger, you know you're listening to Rolling Stones. It's just something you cannot interchange. And so, and this is what is missing in big world's fashion. Before, there were these visual codes that were really characteristic for certain houses, you know. And so, you know, you were looking at Valentino, you would know you're looking at Dior. you would know who you're looking at. Now you don't know anymore because it's mixed. Everybody's using the same thing and everybody's inspired by, the other. But this is something which I love about Kubikova's work, that she created something which is really distinct and which positioned her on the market very clearly. So for me, Petra Kubikova. Mm-hmm. And then I have Marcel Holubec, who is one of the most successful designers with the big clientele already. What I love about him is this almost classical aesthetic he has, probably because it's close to my heart. It's these almost romantic, how do you say that? Nostalgic, old 18th, 19th century, almost Victorian silhouettes. And he can work them so nicely, and also he's a good tailor. So this is why I really love him, because I think that it's also about the not older ones, but we talk about a lot, because we must say the designers we reviewed, many of them are just new on the scene. They emerged recently. But what we cannot forget about is the older ones that had been on the scene for some time and had been doing the work, and they had been doing it well. They were actually the ones paving the way for what we are talking about now. Mm-hmm. So I really needed to mention Marcel Holubec, because not only I really like what he's doing, but he also deserves to be mentioned. And big respect to the older bards who were paving the way for the newcomers, for the Benjamins, Mm-hmm. Then I know you will not like this, but on my last place is also a duo. It's Farah Michaela K. Mm-hmm. Which we talked about is a very tricky subject, leather, confection. I was looking at the new arrivals because I obviously am following world fashion as well. I need to, because I'm an analyst as well, so I need to be, in the know. And so many full leather looks, so many. Mm-hmm. From Oscar de la Renta, all these dresses head to toe leather. So I mean, unfortunately, I must say this, we actually had this discussion in Vogue recently. After we had this discussion, me and you, we were talking about this, how to grasp this subject, how to really stress it so much that it really diminishes from the production altogether. But this is not going anywhere for some time. I see it. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. And so for me, who, as I said, cannot give up leather still, and I promise you, I'll be working on it, because I really want to be there. I really want to tell you in a year or 2 years, Piotr, you'll be proud of me. I'm not wearing leather anymore. And it probably will happen, because when I said it probably will happen. But for now, because I am still there, I really enjoy it. For me, it's Farah Michaela K, and it's really fair to note and mention Ivana Mentlova, because they're kind of doing the same thing. I'm working with Farah Michaela K, obviously, because I like these products, but it's probably the same category, and on the quality level, it's very similar. So for me also, I mean, it's really nicely done. It's an aesthetic that I like, and I wear it, and I know clothes, and they really fit nicely, and they do what they need to do. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love to put that trench coat on, and I know exactly how it's gonna look, and it does the service. It does its job. So, and not just that, I mean all the shirts and the pants and really nicely done, and wearable, nicely done clothes, chic, cool, Parisian, let's say. Cost the dinner. Mm-hmm. Because fashion is also about this, so I needed to mention this. That would round up my 5, and I probably put the letter on the last spot, because it's, as I mentioned, it's something I need to work on, but I still enjoy it, so I cannot be a hypocrite and to mention this.
Sure, it's gonna take time. There's no pressure. As I said, I believe this is the future. This is the demand. This is the topic that we need to discuss, first of all. I don't expect that people will instantly follow me as a leader of, vegan fashion, together with Stella McCartney. She didn't succeed yet, so it's gonna take a while, but it's good to initiate the conversation, and then we'll see. I mean, the more companies are launching, introducing the lines which are branded vegan, starting from our own favorite Novesta. As we said, 70% of Novesta collection is vegan, which is fantastic. And believe me, these are the best trainers you can get. These are the best rubber trainers for the stormy weather. There is a reason why so many international high-end brands, including Comme des Garçons, are so willing to cooperate with Novesta, because they have established the quality, design, and they are very much in line with what's going on. And they do, like, they're not following trends, they are creating trends. This is fantastic. And you see, this is happening in Slovakia. This is a Slovak brand.
I know.
So I would like the vegan fashion to be the conversation, at least, to be initiated here in our region, and then we'll see how it's going to be news and the conversation spread all around the world, and what's going to be a result within 5 up to 10 years. We remember how long it took for the far industry, right? We remember it.
Absolutely,
it took like
absolutely.
4 years
Yes.
of fight, of constant fight.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is not going to take that long, but it's not going to happen within 1 or 2 days just because I said so, because this is not how it works. It needs to be discussed season by season, and we'll see. I just feel like it's the right time to mention it and to inspire designers and clients and start the topic, make the topic interesting for all of us.
Sure. And I also think that maybe, as we discussed before, vegan leather is one option. Is one option, but also, primary sources like the leather that's just really reused or has been used before. So starting with upcycling. I always said that maybe of course it's going to be more expensive because it's a limited amount, right? We need to understand that if a garment made of real leather is going to be from an animal that died naturally and is then, made into a coat, let's say, the leather, which is sustainable. And I actually think this is the way to go. Of course, it's going to be really expensive because how many of those will you get? Not much, right? Mm-hmm. But why not? Why not? I'm asking myself, I will be the first one to buy that really, really, really expensive leather coat from an animal that died naturally, and it's a rarity and it's special, but I know I have a sustainable leather on me. Why not? So if these companies want to make profit and they still want to stick to real leather, then let's use really upcycled leather. Let's use sustainable leather, natural leather that's really not, done in that cruel way. And that's also the way to go. So we really need to explore the options to push the subject.
As you said, this is very important. I would like to say it once again. You said the overpriced fashion is so over now. And I also think the era of easy solutions that are supposed to, please everyone is also over. Fashion doesn't need to deliver the same trend globally to everyone at the same price, accessible. Some stuff might be a bit more expensive, but it really needs a good excuse. So I feel like there are a lot of people who are willing to pay more for, let's say, a human kind of leather. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Is it from the dead animal or does it come from upcycling? There
Absolutely.
are a lot of options that we need to investigate and incorporate into industry.
Absolutely.
This is the right moment to do that. So we're just, championing for it. We're just trying to make it more challenging for fashion because it shouldn't be an easy thing. We have already experienced, I think for the past decade, fashion was, let's say, too easy and too friendly and too pleasing and too willing to, just faking it. Generally, fashion was faking that it was exclusive, accessible, inclusive at the same time. It was, the paradox. It was a paradox.
Schizophrenic. It was a complete schizophrenic. is a journey, because I keep asking myself a question: how can these people even believe in this? When something is exclusive and luxurious, you cannot be seeing it on every corner. It's just this. It's a paradox. It's contradicting itself, So it's good that people start to understand this was all an illusion. It was all, I don't want to say a lie, but basically a lie, all because of, in the name of profit. Mm-hmm. And it's true. So we need to be, and as you say, some things can be more expensive, but it needs to be validated. Like really, it really must be unique and exclusive if it costs a lot of money. So it needs to be, the reason needs to be there. So, I'm actually really happy that about everything that's going on in fashion, because it's a new era. We don't realize we're witnessing a new era, not just in fashion, in general. We're a part of this. And I'm glad that we can be actually a part of the positive notions in all this, and in this really complicated, complex process, and just the way you talk about the letter as well. We talked about it in Vogue, me, Andrea, Jan, Jakub, we were all there and having a discussion. This is exactly what should be happening. We should question ourselves. We should question our needs. We should question our opinions, our, the way we think. Is it right? Is it wrong? Where can I be better? What can I do better? Without the discussion, this is impossible. Discussion is absolutely the starter for all the good processes. So, let's hope that all of this contributed to the good, mm-hmm. and to the positive.
So this is just the beginning of the conversation that we initiated like 10 weeks ago. We saw coming back very, very soon. Honestly, can't wait. I always can't wait. I'm gonna miss you for the couple of, just because you're on holidays. But then as soon as you come back, we're gonna get together. We go. This is the never-ending story. I believe this is what we initiated like 10 weeks ago. We're gonna come back pretty soon with something new for all our viewers and readers at Vogue. I'm really happy that Vogue Czechoslovakia has come up with this concept, because it's fabulous. It's just fabulous. It really says how that Vogue is not just a magazine trying to please readers. It's a magazine that's trying to challenge its readers, that is trying to initiate something serious. There's a very, very important figure in the industry and a very strong player on the market. And I'm very happy that we're
absolutely. It's also a platform. People don't realize, to give so much space and time, because people don't realize, but it's not just our time recording this every weekend, which we love to do. It's our pleasure to do it, but it's energy, time, and everything. But it's not us. There's people working behind the scenes, doing the graphic stuff, preparing the materials for us, making the videos, making the collages. Thanks to Alexander Bell, I need to name him. Lovely work with graphics, and the whole team. Really, there's so much work behind this. It's on the expense of the team, of other things they're doing there, just to support the local designers. Which, frankly, when the fashion week was canceled, it was like a hot potato. What's going to be happening? And we really grasped it. We really said, no, we need to do this. We need to give them space to show the collections. They were working so hard on this, we need to do it. And so it's not only about Vogue being, as you say, a magazine, some
things. Style.
Yes, snob community. It's absolutely not. It's a community that keeps their niveau, which is good, and it's actually absolutely necessary to keep the level up and not to really fall into all these directions that you don't want to go to. But it's also a place where the community is really strongly supported, and it's done to do this. So thank you all. Thank you, Andra. Thank you, Honza. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Marita. Thank you, all of you, really, that you were a part of this, and that you gave us this voice, and that we could actually support our designers. And we cannot wait for September.
Yes.
I guess it's going to be interesting. We finally see each other alive.
Yes.
Can I hug you?
Yes.
I'll hug you so strong.
I'm already
I'll be
coming, please. I'm so happy that I'm coming to Prague. So we're gonna meet. We come up with something new. Then definitely we're gonna change the formula of presentation. But it's obvious when you meet, two creative forces. When they get together physically, there's gonna be like a sparkle, and we come up with something new. So just follow Vogue Czechoslovakia online in print. And we are coming to the September issue as well. So we can already announce we are in the September issue. We're gonna be popping up regularly, so just follow the Czech edition of Vogue. And thank you once again to Vogue Czechoslovakia for initiating this and trying to unite the industry, the Czech and Slovak designers. I mean, in some way, I already feel like they succeeded, because I feel like how many brands can you name? How many magazines in the world could get all these 40 designers all together for alternative fashion week going on online? Not many. One of them is definitely Vogue Czechoslovakia.
Absolutely. And also our thanks and gratitude to all the designers, all of you, even those who got some, constructive criticism. Really, we didn't want to harm anyone. All that we wanted to do is be objective and really say things that may help you, may push you a bit further, So really, I hope that everybody was in the end enjoying this. And yeah, thanks to all of you who were participating in any shape or form, because it was a great project. So hopefully we see us soon.
So it's obvious we don't want to end it, but we have to. So now we're gonna say all together, thank you and goodbye and nashledanou, and see you soon, as we said, as we promised. So until the next time.
Goodbye. No goodbyes.
Goodbyes. Okay. So
au revoirs.
Okay. Until the next time. Thank you and
bye.
Bye.